Following last year's local government elections, the City of Tshwane returned to the Democratic Alliance following the formation of a coalition government between multi-parties, which included ActionSA, FF+, ACDP, UDM, COPE, and COPE. The acting mayor and MMC of Finance at the city, Peter Sutton, joins me now to discuss just how this coalition has been faring. Peter, good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. I suppose a couple of months to try and assess where things are right now. What would you say?
Thank you, Kathy, and good evening to your viewers as well. Look, I think it's been very positive, and I think in many ways this coalition government, which was a fairly new aspect for us, being in a multi-party coalition government with the number of parties we have now, has been actually very fruitful, and we've had some very, very good engagements and had some successes in our first 4 or 5 months in office. So we're very grateful for that.
Of course, one of the first campaigns that really got the attention, especially of the media, was the switchoff campaign, if I can call it that, that the city embarked on and effectively went around making sure that its debtors were able to pay up.
That's correct. It was our Tshwane Yatima campaign, which will obviously continue indefinitely. But that was one of the major projects that we launched in the first few months in February. And we've had some great success from that campaign, as you would have known in the past. And we're continuing with that, and we will continue to increase that campaign, the scope of that campaign, rather, going forward into the future.
How significantly would you say it has affected your finances?
I think that's a two-pronged answer. Firstly, we've seen the collection of revenue, a historical debt of in excess of 700 million, just over 700 million. But what we've also seen is a culture of payment starting to return to the City of Tshwane. So the payment levels have increased. People are paying their accounts more frequently now. And we're seeing, in general, a a greater increase of revenue on the current account of the municipality, which is encouraging. So we still have a problem with our historical debt we will deal with, but at least the payment levels are increasing as well as part of this campaign, and we are seeing an increase in revenue. Of
course, there was also concerns about the level of pushback that the city may receive, including, having this switch-off campaign taken to courts. Tell me about some of the customers that have taken you to court because they believe they've been illegally disconnected.
Yeah, look, I think it was taken a bit out of proportion, so I can give you some statistics. During the campaign in that first period, we had over 2,700, roughly about 2,780 credit control actions, of which about 40 of them landed up in court, where people took us to court. Of those court cases, we won 16 of them. And 6 of them we've lost, but we've taken those on review, as we do feel strongly that they would not. The dispute was never about the money. The fact that they owe the money is fact. So we've taken those cases on review, so we await the outcome. And then the balance of that, some of them are still pending in court. We're waiting. They were dismissed from an urgent basis, but we feel positive that we will win those cases as well. So out of 2,780 cases, 40 of them landed up in court, and we've had some good court rulings in our favor as well. We did put in a process, Kathy, maybe, my apology, ma'am.
Sure, you can continue. Yeah.
My apology. I just wanted to mention what we did do, Kathy. We put in some steps to verify accounts before we took them out on credit control, to try and mitigate the problem and to try and make sure that we do verify that people do actually owe the money before we go and disconnect them.
And Peter, what would you say has been keeping the coalition together?
I think it's the value system and the beliefs and the principles. It's uniting in the coalition government to that which is important for all the political parties. We have a coalition manifesto, which we have developed through taking the most important points that are prevalent to all the political parties from those different manifestos, and or as we would like to, as the public would like to call it, those promises we made during the election campaign. And we've drafted a very strong coalition manifesto that guides us and keeps us together and keeps us focused. And then, of course, we have a multi-party caucuses, we have multi-party coalition management meetings, and we engage and we talk and we communicate. And I think it's finding amongst all the various parties of the coalition government those aspects that are uniting us rather than dividing us.
All right, let's leave it there for tonight. Peter Sutton, he is the Tshwane MMC and acting mayor.